May the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. John's Gospel was the last one written. So we don't have in the beginning of John's Gospel account of Jesus a sense of the manger and the angels and shepherds and going to be registered, because that's already been written. So what's important to John is to convey that in the beginning, Jesus was with God. Jesus, the Word, the Logos, inseparable with God. And if you've read through or will take the time to read through John's Gospel, you will see that Jesus has a mystical aspect about him, an intuition, a knowing of sorts that's quite remarkable and different from the way Jesus is portrayed in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the synoptic Gospels. So John, I think, completes the picture of Jesus. Jesus as spirit, Jesus as flesh, Jesus, Emmanuel, come to be with us. So when we think about the fragility of an infant being born and the trust God had to have to put God's self into human hands for care, for nurture, for growth, for raising Jesus to the full stature that he was able to obtain before he was crucified at the age of 33. So imagine the trust God had to have to allow God's self to be in the midst of humanity. So God trusts us to nurture the gift that we receive again today, that Jesus is born anew. Christmas morning puts us on the other side of Christmas Eve. Many stores, not all, many stores are closed, so people have less opportunity to shop. And if they're out and about, they're going someplace for a definite purpose, whether it's to visit a home, a family, or friends. Maybe they really did need, that half gallon of milk or, missing salt or something like that, and it's good to go to the grocery. But we know that for the most part, people aren't too distracted on this day. And there's a sense of peace and calmness that falls over the land if we recognize it. The energy is not the same as it was yesterday. And you have come today realizing that on this day, Jesus was born. The weather is beautiful, the sun is shining, and the Son of God has been born. So in the beginning was this Word that dared to come and dwell and be among us. So even though we know the rest of the story, without a doubt, we hold on to the tradition of Christmastide, where we once again open ourselves to receiving Jesus Christ as though he comes for the first time, even though we have the rest of the story. Jesus comes for the first time and is born anew. Imagine that gift of almost a clean slate. We carry our histories. We can't get rid of our histories, but we can make a clean slate for Jesus to grow within us, to be a greater part of who we say we are as followers of Christ. So I close with one of my favorite Christmas poems from Howard Thurman, The Work of Christmas. When the song of the angels is stilled when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins to find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among others, to make music in the heart. So may your Christmas begin today. And remember, today begins the 12 days of Christmas. Not the song, the 12 days of Christmas designated by the church that will lead us to the feast of the Epiphany. So Jesus is born today, and you've gathered to recognize that. So may we share in the community that exists right now, the body of Christ, continuing to live God's presence in the world. And for that, we sing the Christmas music and rejoice. Amen.